Hi, now we will solve NCERT Maths Class 10 Chapter 4 Exercise 4.2 question number 3. So the question number 1 and 2 of this exercise are already solved and the videos are already uploaded into YouTube, so you can watch those videos for the solution of question number 1 and 2 of exercise 4.2 of NCERT Class 10 Maths. So let us solve this question. The question number 3 is: find two numbers whose sum is 27 and the product is 182. So in this question what we do is we first of all will convert this statement to a quadratic equation. Now because we have to find out two numbers, so let us assume that one number is equal to x. So let one number be x. So because their sum is 27, their sum is 27, so another number will be 27 minus x, because if one number is x, then another number will be 27 minus x, because they both will add up to 27, right? Now it is given in the statement that their product is 182, right? So it is given in the statement that the product of these two numbers is 182. So now what I will do is I will multiply this number and this number, so it should give me 182, right? So I will multiply x and 27 minus x, because these are my two numbers. They should be equal to 182. Now I will simplify this. I will take this x inside. So if I will multiply x with 27, it will be 27x, and if I multiply x with minus x, it will be minus x square. I will bring this 182 to this side of this equation, so it will become minus 182 equal to 0. Now I will rearrange this. I will bring x square to the front, so it is minus x square plus 27x minus 182 is equal to 0. Now I will multiply both sides of this equation by minus 1, so that this negative sign with the x square is not there. So my equation will become x square minus 27x plus 182 is equal to 0. These all signs are inverted because I have multiplied both sides of this equation by minus 1, right? Now this is my quadratic equation which I must solve to get the required answer, which is I have to find out this value of x, right? So that I can find out the two numbers whose sum is 27 and product is 182. So now I will solve this equation which I have derived from the statement given in the question number 3. So the equation which I have got is x square minus 27x plus 182 is equal to 0. We will solve this equation by the method of factorization. So when we solve any quadratic equation by method of factorization, so what we do is we split this middle term into two terms in such a way that its addition has to be equal to minus 27, which is the coefficient of x, and the multiplication of these two numbers, which I will find out, should be equal to the multiplication of coefficient of x square and this constant term, right? So now we will multiply a and c. Here a is the coefficient of x square, which is 1, and c is constant term, which is 182, and if I will multiply these two terms, I will get 182. Now because this 182 is a positive term, so my two numbers which I will put here and here, they both has to be either negative or both positive. The reason is the multiplication of both negative number is a positive, and multiplication of both positive number is also positive. So this factor is suggesting that my factor will either be both negative or both positive. Next is, because addition has to be minus 27, means addition has to be negative, so it means my number can only be both negative, because if I will add both negative number, only then I will add a negative addition. Both positive number, if I will add, they will never give me a negative addition, right? So both factor will be negative. Now I will start taking factor of this 182 one by one. So the first factor is minus 182 and minus 1. Why minus? Because both has to be negative. So I have to reject these both factors because they will not add up to 27, right? They will not add up to 27, so I will reject this. Then I will take next factor of 182, next negative factors. So minus 2 and minus 91 are the next factor. Again I have to reject because they will not add up to 27. They will add up to minus 93. So again to be rejected. Now next factor. So next factor is 13, minus 13 and minus 14, right? This minus 13 and minus 14. If I will add up minus 13 and minus 14, they will become minus 27. So these both are the numbers which I must take, because I have to look for this. I need not to see further because I have got my two numbers. So now what I will do is I will put this number here and this number here, or I can do vice versa also. That will not make any difference. So now I will explain what is this. I will explain it later on. Now x square is as it is. Now minus 13x I have taken from here, minus 30. Then minus 14x, minus 14 I have taken here and I have put it here. So this is minus 14x plus 182 is equal to 0. Now I will take x common from these two terms. Okay, if I will take x common from these two terms, I will be left with x inside. If I will take x common from x square, I will be left with x, and if I will take x common from minus 13x, I will be left with minus 13. Now I have to take something common from these two terms in such a way that inside x minus 13 is left. So see, if I will take minus 14 common, so I will be left with x, and if I will take again minus 14 common, so here I will be left with minus 13. So I will take minus 14 common from these two term, last two term, right? So I have taken minus 14 common. Inside I am left with x, because if I will remove minus 14 from x, I will be left with x, and if I will remove minus 14 from 182, I will be left with minus 13. This is equal to 0. Now I will take x minus 13 common from this whole term, right? So I have taken x minus 13 common, and inside what I am left with, x minus 14. So I have written it x minus 14. This is equal to 0. Now to find out the solution of this quadratic equation, I have to equate both these factor equal to 0. So x minus 13 is equal to 0 or x minus 14 is equal to 0. So here x is equal to 13 or x is equal to 14. These two are the roots of this quadratic equation. Okay, so before we further proceed into this question, I just want to explain you this table. This table is actually, it shows that what should be the sign of my these factor which I have to put here, right? So a is my coefficient of x square, b is my coefficient of x, and c is my constant term. If I will multiply a and c and b, I will look for the sign. If a multiplied by c is negative and b is also negative, so my factor will be negative and positive here. And if my a multiplied by c is negative and b is positive, my factor will be again negative and positive. If my a multiplied by c is positive and b is negative, so my both factor will be negative. And if a multiplied by c is positive and b is also positive, so both my factor will be positive. Now look at this question which we are solving. Here my b is negative. So because my b is negative, so either this or this condition is there, and multiplication of a and c is positive. So this is the condition. So in this case both my factors are negative. See, both my factor are negative, minus 13 and minus 14. So right. Okay, anyway, let us proceed and solve this question further. Now x is equal to minus 13 or x is equal to minus 14 are the roots of the quadratic equation which we have derived from the statement. So it means if I'll take x is equal to 13, so one number will be 13, another number will be 27 minus 13, because another number was 27 minus x, so this will be 14. I can take it another way also. If I'll take x is equal to 14, so my one number is 14, then another number will be 27 minus 14 is equal to 13. In both the cases, one number will be 13 and another will be 14, or one number will be 14 and another number will be 13. These both are valid answer. Okay, so one number is 13, another is 14. Here one number is 14, another is 13. You can write either of these answers. Both are the correct answers.